Good morning everybody and welcome you all once again. We are having revision of the first chapter of geography, resource and development. In continuation of this chapter, today in this video we are going to discuss land degradation and conservation measures. Whatever land area we have, 3.28 million square kilometer. Out of this available land area, 130 million hectares of land in India is degraded land. There are several factors that led to land degradation. So all those factors together could be combined into major categories. That is, some reason is degraded due to water erosion, some reason is degraded due to deforestation. Due to over irrigation, some land becomes saline and alkaline and some land remain water eroded area. So out of whatever degraded land is there, 130 million hectare of land, so 56% of that is water eroded area. The major culprit for degradation of land, it is erosion, soil erosion, and especially due to water erosion. 56% of degraded land is due to soil erosion. So this is termed as water eroded area. The second major culprit is deforestation. Due to deforestation, 28% land out of this 130 million hectare is forest degraded area. That means due to deforestation, this 28% land had been degraded, so it is termed as forest degraded area. Now 10% of the land is eroded by wind. That means this degradation is caused by wind erosion, and rest is either saline or alkaline due to over irrigation. So these are the factors that led to land degradation, that broadly could be categorized as water eroded area, forest degraded area, saline and alkaline, and wind eroded area. But apart from that, there are several major factors that we are going to read now. But this data that is available to us, it is of year 2000. Actually it is in recent book also the same data is given. That's why I also had written here. But if you would like to know, nowadays, at present, 96.4 million hectares of land nowadays is degraded land. So if you will analyze degraded land according to state, so you will find one thing, if you will see the plain area, for example Uttar Pradesh, only 4.56% land is degraded land. In Bihar, 7.26% is degraded land or wasteland. So if you will conclude here, so let's see, in Jammu and Kashmir 72.75%, here in Sikkim 46.24%, in northeastern state also you are seeing here wasteland is higher. So actually according to the definition, administrative definition of degraded land or wasteland, even grassland we are considered as degraded land according to whatever definition, administrative definition of degraded land nowadays is utilized. So although one thing is there, in hilly region you will find most of the land could not be utilized for various purposes there in the hilly region, and that's why in the hilly region you will find percentage of degraded land is higher than in the plain region. Now there are several factors that led to degradation of land. One, it is deforestation. So deforestation due to mining or for agricultural activities also have caused severe land degradation. Mining sites are abandoned after excavation work, leaving deep scars and traces of pits, and that could not be utilized for any other purposes. So deforestation due to mining, so you should keep in your mind the name of region also. Deforestation due to mining have caused severe land degradation where? In Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra. and mining sites are left abandoned. It causes land degradation in Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Odisha. So for MCQ such question could be asked कि from which of the following state degradation has been done due to deforestation. Suppose name of one state will be given in the option. So now apart from that, overgrazing is one of the main reason for land degradation. Overgrazing. Over irrigation is responsible for land degradation due to water logging, leading to increase in salinity and alkalinity in the soil. The mineral processing like grinding of limestone for cement industry and calcite and soft stone for ceramic industry. So all these industries leave so many dust that settle down on the ground, and after settling it retards the filtration of water, and due that the land become unfit for cultivation, either barren or wasteland. So the mineral processing like grinding of limestone or cement industry, industrial effluents as waste have become a major source of land and water pollution in many parts of the country. Now how to solve the problem of land degradation? So whatever the causes are there of land degradation, if we will remove those causes, so the problem could be tackled. For example, if deforestation is one of the causes for land degradation, so afforestation. So afforestation and proper management of grazing ground. If overgrazing causes land degradation, so management of grazing ground, afforestation and proper management of grazing. Now planting of shelter belts of plant. To restrict wind erosion, we need to establish shelter belts of plant. So suppose if we will put a shelter belt of plants, so it will decrease the wind erosion. So planting of shelter belts of plants. Control of overgrazing, management of grazing. Now control of overgrazing, दोनों में से किसी एक ही पॉइंट लिखोगे. Now control of mining activities, stabilization of sand dune by growing thorny bushes, management of wasteland. So all it could be done to tackle the problem of land degradation. Now proper discharge and disposal of industrial effluents and waste after treatment. तो whatever causes are there of land degradation, तो अगर उस causes को याद रखते हो तो उसी के अनुसार पे how to solve the problem भी mention कर सकते हो. Now soil as a resource. So science of soil, it is called pedology. First of all, so we know there are several layers of soil, and on the basis of this layer of soil, it is divided into different horizon. You already would have read it in your earlier classes. Although the top layer of the soil, the upper layer of the soil is called topsoil. After the topsoil, there will be a layer of subsoil. So weathered rocky sand and silt clay, that is called subsoil. Substratum, that is weathered parent rock material, and unweathered rock, that is parent bedrock. So you could define all this also from here. Suppose if you will be asked what is topsoil, you will write the upper layer of soil is called topsoil. What do you mean by subsoil? Weathered rock, sand and silt. Weathered rock, sand, silt and clay are called subsoil. The layer of soil that is beneath topsoil, that contain rocks, sand, silt and clay, are called subsoil. What do you mean by substratum? Weathered parent rock material is called substratum. Weathered parent rock material, तो जो भी parent rock है वो weathered होने के बाद first phase में substratum. Now parent rock or bedrock, तो unweathered parent rock is called bedrock. Unweathered parent rock is called bedrock. Unweathered parent rock is called bedrock. So what do you mean by topsoil? What is subsoil? What is substratum? What is bedrock? So you could define here. Now what are the factors affecting soil formation? So soil formation is affected by several factors. For example, parent rock, climatic condition, topography, microorganism, time period. All these are major factors in the formation of soil. It also determines the type of soil, which kind of soil will be there. So we know that different kind of soil is there. So why there is several different kind of soil? Because it comes from the parent rock. So if there will be different parent rock, if different parent rock will be there, on the basis of that parent rock the type of soil will be determined. Climatic condition also determine weathering process. Topography, suppose that in the hilly region it will be mountainous soil, in the foothills of mountain it will be alluvial soil. So topography also is a vital factor for determining type of soil, and time period also is one of the vital factor that affects soil formation. So in nutshell, if you would like to know how soil is formed, weathering occurred in the rock particle, further weathering occurred, conversion into fine particle, after conversion into fine particle biochemical reaction occurred, and with that biochemical reaction, biochem reaction, soil is formed. So these are the factors that determine formation of a soil. And if you would like to know in short how soil is formed, so weathering occurred in parent rock, further weathering occurred, conversion into fine particles, after that conversion into fine particles occurred, and after that biochem reaction occurred, and after biochem reactions the soil is formed. Even for half inches layer of soil to be formed, it needs millions of years. Now classification of soil. So there are various categories of classification of soil. Soil could be classified on the basis of color. So we know on the basis of color it will be black soil, red soil or yellow soil. On the basis of texture, soil could be of various category: sand, silt, clay, gravel. On the basis of place of formation, soil could be classified into three kinds. Either it will be transported soil, mountainous soil, or residual soil. If soil formation occurred on the foothills of mountain, so that is termed as mountainous soil. Where the parent rock is, if the soil formed at the same place where the parent rock is there, weathering occurred, further weathering occurred, conversion into fine particle and biochem process all occurred at the same place. So then the soil that is formed, it is called residual soil. Transported soil means what? Ki parent rock is somewhere, its weathering occurred, and after that it was transported. It was transported from one place to another, and during the course of that transportation, conversion into fine particle occurred, and after that biochem reaction occurred, and due to that biochem reaction soil is formed. So parent rock is here and formation of soil occurred here. So this is considered as transported soil. Now what could be this agent of transportation? This agent of transportation could be wind or water. So transported soil depend upon agent of weathering. So if agent of weathering is water, so suppose if the agent of weathering is either water or it may be air. So transported soil could be classified into two parts. One is alluvial soil and other is colluvial soil. If agent of transportation is water, then it is termed as alluvial soil. If the agent of transportation is air or other than water, air or other than water, then it is called colluvial soil. So on the basis of transportation of soil could be classified into two part, alluvial and colluvial. Further you should know that alluvial soil further is classified into two part. One is old alluvium and other is new alluvium on the basis of age. Old alluvium is called Bangar and new alluvium is called Khadar. So soil could be classified into various categories. Soil could be classified into various categories on the basis of color, on the basis of texture, on the basis of place of formation, and there are several other criteria also. We are not going in detail of that pedology. So here you could see different kind of soil on the basis of color, on the basis of texture. It is clay, loam, sand and silt. Also red soil, arid soil, alluvial soil and mountain soil, the major soil that are found in India. Now alluvial soil. So first of all we should know about distribution of alluvial soil. So we know alluvial soil is found in entire northern plain. Alluvial soil is found in entire northern plain. So you could see here this part of entire northern plain, this region. So entire northern plain. So first it is found in entire northern plain, extended in Rajasthan and Gujarat through a narrow corridor. So you could see it extended to Rajasthan and Gujarat through a narrow corridor. Now you could find along the eastern coast, especially along the deltas of Krishna, Kaveri, Godavari and Mahanadi, and also it in the northeastern region. It also is extended in the Assam plain. Apart from that, you should know for the map question, only two chapters is there in geography, and in history just one chapter, it is Rise of Nationalism in Europe. But the map question in the syllabus is from the second chapter, that is Nationalism in India. So that's why map question only will be from geography, and there will be 5 map question. All those 5 map question will be from geography and this 2 chapter. So for map question, where you should concentrate, so different patches that is usually asked in the examination. So one you already would have aware, okay, this is one of the patch that is generally being asked in the examination. So if this region is either forest or mountainous soil, this region also is important. Sometimes this patches is being asked, so it will be shaded. This region will be shaded, and in question there will be type of soil. You will have to write which type of soil it is. Also this patch is important. Rajasthan ka ye patch, arid soil. This patch also is generally asked in the examination. That is black soil. So that means, and also this patch could be asked in the examination. तो जनरली ये ब्लैक सॉइल का इतना लंबा ये पैच जनरली नहीं आता है एग्ज़ाम में. और इसके अलावा ये जो और दिस पैच ऑफ अरुणाचल प्रदेश. तो जनरली इसी इतना जो 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 पैचेस जो बता रहे हैं. तो मैप क्वेश्चन जनरली इज बीइंग आस्क्ड फ्रॉम दिस पैचेस. कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑफ एलुवियल सॉइल. तो this is most widely spread and important soil. These have been deposited by 3 important Himalayan river systems, namely Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra. The alluvial soil consists of proportion of sand, silt and clay. So in appropriate proportion, all sand, silt and clay exist in alluvial soil. These soil are divided into 2 types on the basis of age. Khadar and Bangar. Khadar is also called new alluvium and Bangar is also called old alluvium. अगर इसमें confusion होता है तो इसको याद रखोगे. Old boys और new king. मतलब 2 टर्म याद रखो. Old boy और new king. मतलब Bangar तो Bangar old alluvium, Khadar तो new alluvium. Now Khadar is more fertile than Bangar. Khadar is more fertile than Bangar. This soil contains potash, phosphoric acid, lime, sugarcane, paddy, wheat, sorrel and pulses crop are grown in it. So for examination point of view, if characteristic of alluvial soil will be asked, so you could write it in 5 points. But one thing that you should know, कि as we move inland towards the river valleys, soil particles appear somewhat bigger in size. As we move inland towards the river valley, मतलब जैसे माउंटेन फुटहिल शुरू हुआ और वहाँ से रिवर वैली शुरू हुआ, तो उसके अपर रीचेज में जैसे जाएंगे, मतलब टू द अपर रीचेज ऑफ रिवर वैली, तो सॉइल पार्टिकल विल अपीयर समवॉट बिगर इन साइज. कि एज यू विल मूव टुवर्ड्स द अपर रीचेज of the river valley, the soil particle will become greater. Upper reaches of the river valley are near the place of the break of slope. So suppose this is mountain, तो जहां पे इसका स्लोप ब्रेक होता है, तो ये रीजन, तो near the place of the break of slope, the soil are coarse. Such soil are more common in Piedmont plains, such as Duars, Chos and Tarai. Now what is Piedmont plain? तो इतना तो जान रहे हो कि there are several Piedmont zones, not only in India, in other places also you will find. So actually we know that Piedmont is in Italy. You already have read in history. तो लैंड सरफेस दैट इज फाउंड एनीवेयर लाइक पैडमोंट इज टर्म एज पैडमोंट जोन. फॉर एग्जांपल जैसे आल्प्स पर्वत पे जो वेजिटेशन पाया जाता है, वैसा वेजिटेशन दुनिया में कहीं भी पाया जाता है तो उसको अल्पाइन वेजिटेशन कहते हैं. अगर वैसा क्लाइमेट दुनिया में कहीं भी पाया जाता है तो अल्पाइन क्लाइमेट कहते हैं. उसी तरह से पैडमोंट जैसा लैंड सरफेस जहाँ भी है तो उसको पैडमोंट जोन कहते हैं. तो पैडमोंट जोन डेवलप, भारत में जो पैडमोंट जोन है, इट डेवलप एडजेसेंट टू द हिमालयन फुट हिल्स, डिफाइन द नॉर्दर्न लिमिट ऑफ द गंगेटिक प्लेन. तो वेयर फुट हिल्स ऑफ हिमालयन माउंटेन कम्स टू एन एंड एंड वेयर नॉर्दर्न प्लेन बिगिंस, तो नॉर्दर्न पार्ट ऑफ दिस नॉर्दर्न प्लेन it create Piedmont zone. Typical landforms in this region include gravel. Typical landform in this region include gravel deposit, that is called Wabber, and plain, that is called Tarai. Several examples of well-developed Piedmont zone have been described from. So if you will ask some examples of Piedmont zone, to Doon Valley in Garhwal Himalaya, Nainital area that is in Kumayu Himalaya, and Uttaranchal in northern India. So these are example of Piedmont plain. So here you could see where the slope of mountain comes to an end, and the region after that, that is termed as Piedmont plain. Actually in picture you could see it seems to be a flat land, but actually this is not flat land. This is also undulating plain at the region of foothills. तो ऐसा नहीं होता है कि foothills में ब्रेक हुआ, स्लोप ब्रेक हुआ और उसके बाद बिल्कुल फ्लैट लैंड शुरू हो गया. The altitude declines gradually. So this region of Piedmont plain further is given different name. For example, Dwars, Tarai and Chos. To write in the examination, you could write Dwars are the flood plain and foothills of the eastern Himalaya in northeast India around Bhutan. Tarai are belt of marshy land at foot of mountain at the foot of the Himalayan in North India, and the southern slope of Shivalik range in Punjab and Himachal Pradesh are almost devoid of forest. तो यहाँ पे ध्यान रखोगे, Shivalik range in Punjab, southern part of Shivalik range in Punjab and Himachal Pradesh, that is almost devoid of forest cover. So this is known as Chos. Now in map also you could see here. So this plain region in the Assam plain, so this is termed as Dwars, and this region south of the Shivalik, this region of Piedmont plain south of the Shivalik in Punjab and Himachal Pradesh, so this is known as Chos. And in between you know that even Nepal, so this area, तो देखो इसके इस तरफ और इसके इस तरफ बीच में तो माउंटेन है ना, माउंटेन के नॉर्थ और इसके साउथ, तो ये जो रीजन है, दिस रीजन हियर इज तराई रीजन. Now types of alluvial soil. So we already came to know that according to their age, alluvial soil can be classified as old alluvium, that is called Bangar, and new alluvium, that is called Khadar. So generally it also is being asked difference between Khadar and Bangar. So it is soil formed by sediment deposited by the river system, namely Indus, Brahmaputra and Ganga. The old alluvium is called Bangar and new alluvium is called Khadar. So it is new alluvium, it is old alluvium. Khadar is lower, in Khadar lower concentration of कंकर noodles, but higher concentration of कंकर noodles remain in Bangar. That means soil texture जो बांगर का होता है वो मोटा होता है, खादर soil थोड़ा fine particles होता है. It has more fine particles, it has less fine particle. It is more fertile comparatively, it is less fertile. So Bangar is less fertile than Khadar, Khadar is more fertile than Bangar. So perhaps this could be last video of class 10 before the examination. So that's why we will discuss something about the exam now. So about syllabus, I do think it is clear to all, even though if any confusion is there to any student. So in history you will have to read just one chapter. It is nationalism in Europe, rise of nationalism in Europe. In civics you will have to read two chapters. It is power sharing and federalism. In economics also you will have to read two chapters. It is development and sectors of Indian economy. And in geography, two chapters, resource and development and agriculture. So altogether 25 question will be of MCQ. 25 MCQ question will be there. Some 2 marks question also will be there, and some 3 marks and some 5 marks question will be there. So it is important part, 25 MCQ question will be there. So to solve MCQ, one thing should be clear to you, that suppose 4 option A, B, C, D is given and you have confusion regarding A and C, that means दोनों करेक्ट है. मान लो A भी करेक्ट है और C भी करेक्ट है और यहाँ पे none of this का ऑप्शन नहीं है. तो ऑप्शन मान लो तुम्हारे पास क्या होगा, A and B बोथ, लेकिन वो ऑप्शन है नहीं. तो सिंपली A को हम करें या B को, A को करें या C को करें. तो देखो ऐसे क्वेश्चन में अगर नन ऑफ दिस होगा तो आंसर तुम्हारा नन ऑफ दिस होगा. मगर अगर ऑप्शन में नन ऑफ दिस नहीं दिया हुआ है, देन व्हाट यू विल डू. तो ऐसे कंडीशन में ज़्यादा परफेक्ट जो लग रहा है वो तुम्हारा करेक्ट ऑप्शन होगा. तो इट इज़ जनरल फंडा ऑफ MCQ कि इफ 2 ऑप्शन सीम्स टू बी ट्रू, देन more accurate option will be the correct option. So for example, in surprise test, one question was like this. And now for your examination, best of luck to everybody. अच्छे से एग्जाम दो. So now that's all and have a nice day. Thank you for watching.